guys, welcome back to Crazy Dave's Kitchen, the Freeze Drying Academy. Alright, what do I got for you today? Something special. But first, I need you to hit that subscribe button, okay? That way you get notified whenever Crazy Dave makes new, amazing, awesome, off-the-wall, crazy videos. You want to be notified first. Alright, what do I got for you? I've got a big, huge bag. It was originally 5 pounds. I did use a pound of it for something else, but this is a 4-pound bag of Gouda cheese cubes. You can pick these up at Costco every now and then. If you go in the back where they have kind of like the rotisserie chicken, and then off to the side they've got the shredded chicken and stuff right in the little, what I call it, the open cooler. They got these little bags or section of these bags every now and then where they blow these out super cheap. I think it's like leftovers from when they make their different dishes. Same thing with the salami I picked up before. You can pick up some turkey, you can pick up some chicken breast. Different things are in that section. You just have to look for it or ask the butcher guys. I'm sure they've got some of this stuff laying around. But this is a 4-pound bag. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into my crock pot. That's the first step. I'm gonna go ahead and melt this thing down. I'm gonna let it sit in my crock pot, let it get nice, soft, and gooey, and then we're gonna make some amazing freeze-dried nacho cheese sauce. Now, I do say it's the word sauce, but when you freeze-dry it, I don't think it's sauce anymore. But I'm gonna call them the freeze-dried nacho cheese cubes that are absolutely awesome. A portable snack when you've got the craving for some nacho cheese. Man, going to town on that, awesome. But we're also going to try to rehydrate it to see how it comes back once I put it back at the rehydrated nacho cheese. Sit back, relax, enjoy, stay with me as we make some freeze-dried nacho cheese squares. Right now, I just poured the 4-pound bag of the Gouda into my crock pot. I put it onto the low-medium setting. I'm gonna let this sit here for a couple hours, let it get all nice and gooey. But I wanted to show you guys something here. This is kind of like the tag that it looks like when you get it. And it was just, $3.20 a pound for the 5-pound bag. So it's pretty cheap. 16 bucks, I got 5 pounds of these little cubes that are already cut up. Great for appetizer parties, or in my case, great for projects that I can make some amazing stuff. I would have even probably put it in my cold smoker. I just didn't have time to do that. So 4 pounds into the crock pot. All right, off to the side, you probably saw these little jars here and you're like, what did Dave got there? This, you've got to go back and watch some of the old videos, okay, called Smoked in a Pumpkin Salsa. That's right, salsa that I put inside of a pumpkin. Yeah, I cut out the pumpkin and I made it into a cold smoker and made some amazing salsa. My neighbors go nuts for this. The flavor is awesome. And no, it does not come out pumpkin-y at all. But the flavors combined are something off the chart. I mean, that stuff, I should sell that stuff commercially, right? So you're gonna need a couple of jars of that. Now, if you don't have Crazy Dave Smoked in a Pumpkin Salsa, no worries. Find your favorite salsa and then go ahead and get that ready. I'm also going to add some freeze-dried jalapenos and some freeze-dried serrano peppers to kick it up a notch. Well, right now, this has to sit here for a couple hours. I'm going to let the cheese squares kind of melt, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Cheese has been sitting in this crock pot for a few hours, and it's really melted. I mean, it's definitely cheesy. Okay, but it's really thick. You can't really put that into the freeze dryer right now. So what we have to do is we're gonna make what they call the roux. And the roux is just basically, it's gonna be some flour. So I got 1 cup of flour and some butter. I got 2 sticks of butter. And I've also got a gallon of milk. I just happened to go to the grocery store and it was on clearance. I'm like, hey, great, because I'm gonna use it right away. But I'm only gonna use about a half a gallon, okay? So the first step we're gonna do is we have to melt the butter, get that nice and melted. Then we slowly add the flour with the whisk, blend it in, okay? We're gonna do that on the stove. This is a separate pot we're gonna use. Melted butter, add the flour, then you're gonna add half a gallon of milk. All right, right now the butter is completely melted. As you can see here, it's nice and boiling away. Next step is to start adding the flour. So we're just going to add the flour. And then I'm going to take my whisk and I'm going to whisk it. And it's going to get kind of thick and fast, okay? And you'll see it kind of now becoming kind of creamy and the flour taking over. Once this is nice and mixed in, the flour and the butter mixture is mixed, okay? This is when you start adding your 8 cups of milk, which is basically half a gallon. So half a gallon, 8 cups of milk. I'm going to go ahead and open up my milk container here off to the side. And the first set is going to be 4 cups of milk. Then I'm going to add another 4 cups. So right now I'm measuring the 4 cups of milk. There we go, we got 4 cups here. We're going to pour that in there. Now there we go, look at nice and boiling. Adding 4 cups. Give it a nice little stir here. And then we're going to go ahead and add the other 4 cups. Now once I'm done with the other 4 cups, I'm still going to mix it. We're going to let it come to a boil here. And then we'll start slowly adding it into the cheese mixture. Now it's about time we're going to start adding the milk into the nacho cheese sauce over here. But one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little thing for the pot because I don't want to set it on my tile. And I'm just going to go ahead and add like a little spoon at a time. Let's see what happens here. Here's a spoonful. Let's go ahead and add it in there. So right now that's 1 spoon. There's 2 spoons, okay? Then I'm going to take my mix over here and I'm going to start mixing this up and see what happens. And kind of got on low speed. Let it mix in here. And you'll see it's kind of clumping up on the mixing blade. So I guess we're gonna have to peel that off. You know, little mess ups here, no big deal. I might need to add more milk and let it sit a little bit longer so it gets nice and creamy first. Because that did make a mess here, as you can see. But it's not too bad. You know, it's okay. We're gonna work with it. All right, we're gonna keep taking this cheese off this little mixing blade here, put it off to the side. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and add the rest of the milk in here. Because I think that letting the milk sit in this mixture and mixing it up for a little bit before I take the actual hand mixer is going to do really good. So I'm going to turn this thing on to high on my crock pot. And I want to let it sit here. Let the milk mix with the cheese and get this thing nice and gooey, okay? So we're gonna come back a little bit once this is nice and gooey and I'm gonna try to blend it up for you guys. We're gonna try to start blending this a little bit. We're gonna use the low speed. Put your hand in front of it, okay? Because it does like to splatter. And just go a little bit around your crock pot and just keep mixing it. And you're going to repeat this up a couple of times. Just mix it for a little bit, let it rest, and then come back and mix it again. All right, guys, so one of the things I ended up doing is I ended up taking the nacho cheese sauce out of the crock pot and I put it onto a big pot on my stove, set it on medium to low heat. Then I took my mixer and I started mixing the nacho cheese sauce a little bit, kind of get rid of some of the curdles, kind of get rid of some of the thickness, and I want it to blend really, really well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the freeze-dried packet of jalapenos, and this is probably the equivalent of 3 freeze-dried jalapenos. I'm going to go ahead and put it into my Vitamix to make a beautiful powder. Then I'm going to take, probably starting off with about 4 of these freeze-dried serrano peppers. So only about 4. You don't want to make it too hot. So the whole packet of jalapenos, 4 of the serrano peppers, and again, the jalapenos equivalent is about 3 to 4 of the freeze-dried whole jalapeno. Just got done mixing it in the Vitamix. I poured it into the nacho mixture over here, and ran my blender again, mixed it all up. Taste tested it, it's getting there, it's got the heat, not too much, it's just perfect. But now I'm gonna add that's smoked in a pumpkin salsa. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with 3 of these small jars, and then if need to, I'll go ahead and go with the bigger one. All right, guys, I counted the pumpkin. It was 3 8-ounce jars, so about 24 ounces of the pumpkin salsa. Man, I taste tested it. The smokiness of the jalapeno, the smokiness of the pumpkin salsa, it's all coming together. Now what we're gonna do is just let it simmer on the stove, very low heat. Let it simmer for about 30 minutes. Then we're gonna turn off the heat, let that rest for about 15 or 20 minutes. Then we're gonna pour them into the trays. Trays look like this is only an image of 2 of them when I loaded them up. Now what I noticed is I had to use a ladle in order to pour each of the squares. When I tried to pour it right here in the middle, thinking it was gonna spread out evenly, it didn't. It just started flowing over the sides, making a big mess. So these are 2 of the trays. There's a total of 4 of them. I did have a little bit left over that the wife's gonna have so she can dip some chips in there. But right now we're gonna let these sit on the counter for about 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put my tray covers that I got from Harvest Right on top of them. Then I'm into my house freezer, then off to the freeze dryer. All right, it's been well over 24 hours that the nacho cheese squares have been in the big freezer. Now it's time to put them into the freeze dryer. So we're gonna go ahead and open the door here, okay? We're gonna go ahead and make sure that the valves are all closed, which that one is, and that one is as well. Now we're gonna go to the freezer here, and then we're gonna pull out the trays. There we go. Close the door behind us. Make sure it's completely shut. And yes, these things are super cold, okay? So let's go ahead and undo these things. These are the lids here from Harvest Right. And I really like them. It keeps everything separated and it allows no cross-contamination of anything that may be in that freezer, even though that freezer is pretty well cleaned and pretty well stocked. But these things are frozen, nice and cool. We're just gonna go ahead and slide it in there right at the bottom. And we're gonna go ahead and repeat all the steps here to all 4 trays. That's gonna make some amazing nacho cheese bites or nacho cheese square bites. All right, so now into the freeze dryer they go. We're gonna close the door here. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit continue. And now it says freezing. So these babies are gonna sit in here and freeze dry to make some amazing nacho cheese snacks. I'll see you guys when these are finished. Guys, these nacho cheese squares have been in here now for 44 hours is what it says. Now that's of course because of extra dry time that I set up for 24 hours. So it's been an extra dry time about 8 hours. So 44 hours total dry time. If you subtract the 8, that'll give you the total dry time. It took a long time to freeze dry this nacho cheese. Well, let's go ahead and hit the end batch here. Hit confirm. Go ahead and open the vacuum on that side. And then we're gonna go ahead and open the drain valve on this side, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and pull them out. We'll take a look at them inside the kitchen here, but I'm just gonna pull them out. Just remember though that when you are working with the freeze dryer and you start pulling them out, the trays could be a little warm, hot to touch, so just be careful. Kind of set them off to the side almost immediately. And then we're going to go ahead and just pull all of them out here and set them off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and hit defrost on this machine, okay? And defrost, you just press it. Now I set my defrost for about 3 hours. It doesn't always take 3 hours, but I'd rather have the 3 hour defrost time to make sure that it's nice and done. We're gonna hit continue here. We're gonna close the door. You still leave the vacuum chamber valve open along with your regular drain valve because you don't wanna make a mess. And you pretty much just walk away. You could come back in a couple hours and look at it. As long as it's completely melted inside, then you can go ahead and hit the end now and turn the machine off if you have nothing else to freeze dry. All right, so right now I'm gonna meet you guys in the kitchen. I'm gonna show you how to take these apart from the dividers, how to take the dividers out of the trays, and then you'll have some amazing cheese sauce. Now remember, we also gotta go ahead and try to rehydrate this to see if it reconstitutes as a creamy nacho cheese. Well, here's one of the 4 trays, and it's got this little divider in it that's from freezedryandsupply.com. And all you gotta do is just lift it up, and it will come out very easy. Set it into the sink, and now you have your nacho cheese squares. I mean, nice, light, airy. I'm gonna grab one over here that's kind of thin because I'm really not that hungry right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and break it. And you'll see it's nice and dry. And then let's go ahead and do a taste test. Let's see what these taste like. I'm hoping nacho cheesy with a little bit of spice. Remember, we put the jalapeno and the serrano peppers and that pumpkin salsa. Well, here we go. To me, it's like nacho cheese. Ooh, it's got a good bite to it. Awesome. So now, set that off to the side. I've got some milk on the stove here warming up. Ooh, that's got bite to it. It's starting to creep up, but it's really good though. It doesn't kill you, but it's got bite. Just to let you know that there's something there. But I got milk on the stove. We're gonna go ahead and try to do a rehydrate and see how that comes out. So I just took off the stove some hot milk. I got my mixer, I've got a little bowl, and I've got the nacho cheese square. So I think I wanna add about 4 of them. Let's go for 6. What the heck? All right, there's 6 of them, okay? We're gonna come over here, come on close here. We're gonna go ahead and add the little bit of steamed milk. And maybe not enough milk. We'll find out in 1 second here. We're gonna let these sit for a little bit. Oh, no, they've already got like mushy. All right, we're gonna try to mix it up here and see what happens. I think that mix is a little too fast for it. So I think what I'm gonna do is switch to a whisk. And we're just gonna whisk it. And it still seems like it wants to melt. So I'm gonna go real quick. And in this case, I'm gonna grab a little bit more milk. We're gonna make it nice and creamy here. All right, and just add a little bit at a time. You know, you don't have to kind of overdo it. The good thing is, if it becomes too watery, guess what? I've got a whole bunch of nacho cheese squares that I can grab and kind of break them up if I need to. So let's go ahead and mix this up here. And you'll see it's actually coming out pretty darn good. It's still, it's creamy. Oh yeah, definitely creamy. It almost looks like a queso cheese sauce, but you'll see that it pretty much reconstituted to what it was before. And actually, in all true honesty, before, remember, it was really, really runny. This time, it looks like nacho cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a spoon out of my drawer here. I don't want to waste any chips, and I gotta open the whole bag of them, and I don't want to do that. But let's take a look here. Take a look. Look at that. That, in my opinion, is some really good nacho cheese. Let's take a look. Let's see. Oh man. Oh man. The right amount of spice, the right amount of creaminess. Oh man, the heat will get you. Those serrano peppers, woo! But it's good, and actually it tastes like that the one you get in the yellow jar. I think I have it over here in my pantry. Let me grab something. It tastes like this one. It tastes like this one right here, but better. This one's good, but this one tastes exactly like this, but mine's more smokier and with a big kick. So if you guys don't know what this is, that's the Tostitos. And this is the medium salsa con queso. So basically salsa with cheese. Crazy Dave, salsa with cheese, but not just any salsa. That's the pumpkin salsa for you right there. Well, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe as well so you get notified when I do future videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.